In this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about Candyman, Gary Oldman's Dracula, Kiss from a Rose, and Vampire Hunters in our discussion of Mina and the Slayers with Amy McCaw. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to talk to Amy McCaw, author of Mina and the Slayers. Enjoy!
Yay!
Oh my god.
You're amazing. And we're so happy that we were able to drag you back on. Thanks.
Welcome to episode 1 of season 5.
Season 5! Yeah. Yes, you were the first one.
You didn't have to drag me anywhere. You didn't have to drag me. I dragged myself here. It's all good.
Yeah, by including us in the acknowledgements. That's your ticket to Fictional Hangover.
And we'll get to this later, but there were a few nods to Fictional Hangover in the book too.
We were right.
Few implies more than one. We came up with 2.
Yeah, I think there are 4 from the first chat. Yeah, we'll get there.
We will get there, but first...
Oh my god. Right, let's skip ahead.
Yes.
Skip would you rather.
Oh my god, okay.
Do we need to speed run this bit now?
We do. It's the fastest would you rather ever that has ever existed.
Okay, one-word
Ready,
answers, no explanation. You're looking into a mirror. The room is dark except for the flickering light from a single candle. We want to know, would you rather call Candyman or Bloody Mary? Well, on Facebook, they're calling Candyman with 55%. On Instagram, Bloody Mary is coming to visit with 64%. On Twitter, both of them are coming to party, 50-50. And on TikTok, it's Candyman with 55%. Yes. We do have some comments. Do we want to read them or do we want to speedrun this?
I mean, we got to read a couple of them. We've got to read a couple.
Them. I want to hear.
There's one very important one that I have to read. It's very, very important.
Okay, well, you definitely read that one, but we'll need to do some of our superfans as well.
We do.
So Constance
on
Facebook says, I feel a little biased after reading a short story in Eternally Yours. Bloody Mary was my favourite character, and now I shall always support her.
It's supporting her by letting her come and murder you.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
It's normal. Bree on Facebook said, neither? I know better than to invoke murderous figures, but I'd rather be gutted with a hook than my eyes get liquefied. So, if I have to be too stupid to live, I'll take Candyman.
I want that
self-realisation there. Colin on Facebook said, tough one. See, Candyman bring the whole new thing to play as well, so I don't think I fancy that. At least with Bloody Mary, she might be so put off by my masculine charms that she goes, hang on a second, this guy is very, very manly and also good looking, and I suspect not a bad dancer when he's in the mood. Maybe I don't kill him and instead slip him some spectral tongue, and I'll be like, this feels so wrong to be kissing the mirror ghost creature, but I suppose it's better than the alternative. And then we both kind of get into it a bit more, and her more than me. And sooner or later, she has to go murder someone else, and I'm like, yeah, I'll call you. And then probably don't, because I'm not interested in getting dead if she gets bored with me. So yeah, I choose Bloody Mary.
I mean, like, how do you respond to that?
By looking at Colin and going, mm-hmm.
Amanda's face said it all during that. I know you won't hear that on the podcast, but the look of like disbelief and shock kind of expressed how I was feeling too.
Oh yeah.
That was a well thought answer. Our answer. That's one thing I will give it.
It's definitely that. What's the very important one, Amanda?
The very, very important one is L20 Kev on Instagram.
Oh. I wonder who that is.
I know. Who is that?
Oh, I don't know what you thought.
Whenever we watch Candyman and he says, Helen, I always get shivers down my spine. So it has to be Candyman. Even if it means I get gutted. It'll be worth it so I can hear his iconic booming voice say, Kevin, right before he attacks. Yes, Kevin. Good choice.
That would have to be like your text message to him, wouldn't it? I mean, it can't be because you're dead.
Right, but It will be good for like the one text message that you get as you're dying.
Oh,
I don't even know why we posed this question. This is just like,
What's-
this is another question of like, oh, are you going to be a vampire or not? Like, obviously you're going to be a vampire. So obviously I'm picking Candyman.
Well, we knew that you didn't need to say.
Everyone knows.
It was obvious.
Everyone
It was
knows of the
obvious.
obsession. Even Amy McCaw, who wrote it into the book.
And if they don't by the time they get to this point in the podcast, considering what you were like all through the discussion.
I can't help it.
Well, you have Candyman. I'm going to have Bloody Mary because I've always
Okay.
loved that. But I think that's like the Brit in me likes the Bloody Mary story. So I'm taking Bloody Mary.
So what
See,
about you? What about you,
I
Amy?
go Candyman. The kids at school were obsessed with the Bloody Mary thing, and I was too much of a scaredy cat. Even though I knew it wasn't real, I'm never ever saying those names 3 or 5 times in a row. I'm not even risking 3. Not worth it. So there is that. I'm too much of a scaredy cat. But if I had to invoke one of them, Candyman, like Kev took it right out of my mouth. It's that cool voice. It's the whole aesthetic. You know, if I'm going to be murdered, he's going to look really good and really scary doing it.
Yes.
So yeah, Candyman.
Oh, Candyman.
Oh, I'm going to make friends with Bloody Mary.
Yeah, you be Team Bloody Mary. Somebody needs to be. Come on.
Somebody
Well,
does
exactly.
need to be on her side.
No, I'll listen to her. I'll hear out what, and then point her in the direction of the people who I think she should be crawling through their mirror and murdering.
Sure, you can team up with her.
I would.
Yeah.
I have a list,
Good.
a literal handwritten list. But my handwriting's terrible, so nobody will ever be able to indict me.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you might get the Candyman without spoiling it from the end of the film. Like that Candyman might come, and then you might be okay because I feel like we wouldn't be the target of that. It would be like the horrible, like women mistreating men of the world would get taken down. Really try
Yeah.
not to spoil the film, but yeah, I think there are different versions of Candyman, and we might be safe with one of them.
That's right.
That's
Especially
true. That is true.
especially because we know his history and we want to keep him safe.
Yeah, like
So
we're
he-
Team Candyman, so how could he like the Hulk? Like he just like, oh no, maybe you guys are cool, you're fine.
Or we call them both, and they could go on a date or something, or
Yeah.
even if there's nothing romantic, they could have a platonic friendship. I think that would be really
Sure.
cute.
Yeah. I was really worried that you were going to say we could call them both and like make them battle it out, and I was going to go, no!
No. I want no. We're lovers, not fighters here.
That is not true at all. But in this case, if
Hey,
we're
it's Gary Oldman's Dracula, and Lestat, lovers, not fighters.
right, yes, and then
I can't
Freddy
get blood on this
Krueger,
shirt. Have you
so
seen
I
it?
don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. I mean, to be fair, I've already taken the claw off because I gave you too much information. It's really sweaty inside that claw. So the claw's here, but it's no longer attached to me. So yeah, I'm a lover now. I was a fighter a few minutes ago, but the blades have come off. So we're all lovers here, definitely.
All right.
The blades have come off. Just don't ever try and start a duel with that. Slap
Oh,
it.
no.
Oh. Oopsie.
Finger knife face slap would be dreadful.
Really
Also, really funny.
Oh, it would be. It would be good stuff.
I'd like to think that the Freddy Krueger claw in the mansion is as sharp as the Candyman's hook in the mansion, especially
Better
after being chased through the exhibit by a serial killer. It's like, let's make sure that every room is weaponized.
Yes.
I think
Definitely.
Mina's doing that now after that experience, yes. But I mean, it had to be rubber Freddy Krueger fingers because they're kind of poking them up at the tourists. So I don't think they want to kind of skewer their paying customers like more to the wound than halfway through the tour. Like, I don't know, they've got to at least survive.
Right.
They don't get a refund if they're dead.
True.
You can keep
Just add
all
the
of
bodies
it.
to the decor. Yeah, it's fine.
It's authentic. Okay.
Jared's got to get a food source.
Yeah.
No.
He's just waiting there, like mouth open.
We already discussed his food source and how it needs to progress to the thigh.
Definitely.
Well,
Definitely.
hopefully there'll be a third book. You never know. Anybody listening? You know.
Oh, we've already declared that there's going to be a third book. It's
we
fine.
have. Yeah, we've already.
In fact, we've come up with an entire blockbuster shelf full of sequels for you as well.
We have. So, yeah, you'll have to just listen back and see what we've gotten you into. There's a lot. Okay. Would you rather be part of a secret vampire slaying club or help investigate murders with the police? The same rule applies to both. You can't talk about it. Fight Club rules.
I mean, obviously, yeah. One of my all-time favorite films, in case you didn't know. Yes. So I don't know. Do you want me to answer first, or are we going to?
Yes, 100%.
If you have an answer, I'm still thinking.
I do. So if it was with my actual current skill set, then definitely not a slayer, because I would immediately either poke myself with a stake or just get murdered like seconds into it. So there's no vampire slaying as cool as I think it would be. I'm not cut out for it. However, I made Cafferty extra sexy in the second book, so I feel like I would be his sidekick. On equal terms, you know, I'd work up from sidekick after I learned it all, but I've watched enough true crime. I think I could handle solving a murder case with Cafferty there at my side, like Mulder and Scully, only minus the aliens.
Oh, now you see, I said that Cafferty was Daddy Winchester.
Now then, it's funny you should say that, because in my head, Mina's daddy is Daddy Winchester.
That's just got weird. Got weird.
I know. I'm really sorry that I've just confused the whole love
How
interest
could you
thing.
give Cafferty an Impala and it not be Daddy Winchester? It's set in the 90s, so it can't be Sam and Dean. It's got to be Daddy Winchester.
I want it to be Sam and Dean. I would rather it...
I would rather it be Sam and Dean. But it's set in the 90s. It can't be Sam and Dean.
I didn't even think about that. I just wanted a supernatural car in it. But yes, time period wise, that kind of it could be the dad. Yeah,
it could be.
That's canon now. We've decided it.
Yes,
yes. Something else has influenced.
Get in there.
I need to choose. An answer to this question, and. I think we probably all know that the only way I'm going to be a vampire slayer is if I'm a vampire hunter. So if I get to be a vampire, then yes, I will become a slayer. But if not, I'm fine hanging out with sexy Cafferty, because everyone knows, if you listen to the rest of the episode, I had a non-sexual book crush on Cafferty. So...
A lot of people did. You wouldn't believe. Book one, it was Jared, and then book two is Jared and Cafferty. The messages I'm getting from people are like, I didn't realize Cafferty was sexy. You didn't tell me that in book one. I was like, well, I thought I did, but yeah, he looks a bit like Jared Leto. I made that clear.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it was when he broke the pool cue for me. That was it.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
I did a bit of research to check whether that's possible, because I thought, I know I can't break a pull cue, but can a human with normal strength break a pull cue? And I found video evidence, so I went with it.
Good. Yeah. We would be like Mina trying to break the chair, bouncing it off the wall in the background.
Oh my god, that was so dumb.
So good.
It's me. That's what. Whenever I put Mina in a scene like that, she throws does she throw a steak or something at some point? Oh no, she throws a knife, doesn't she? Or she tries to catch a steak. That's it. She tries to catch a steak and it bounces off her hand. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me dead. Honestly. Instantly.
I'm surprised she survived the steamboat.
No, it's just pure. Everybody wants to protect her, so she's got that and dumb luck, I think, more than anything.
How she didn't slip in a pool of blood, I do not know.
No.
It's coming.
She got stuck under something for a while. That probably protected her. But yeah, she's not the best slave, but she does her best. She's learning.
She's a trier.
Yeah.
She's a trier.
She's trying very hard. She'll be successful in the next book.
Well, she's only just started vampire slaying as well.
Right. Give her some credit.
It's third day on the job or something like that. So
this is what I wanted it to be realistic. I didn't want her to just kind of run into it. Yes, I know how to hold a steak. I tried with my Buffy steak. I was like, how would you hold these? Over the shoulder, in front of you? So yeah, she wouldn't know all that stuff. Just instinctively, you don't know how to hold a steak unless you're Buffy, obviously.
Right. But she does have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah,
from
she's
watching
pieced-
movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and she's pieced it together from her experiences with in book one. So
But remember, Buffy as well is also a gymnast / cheerleader. So she's already got that dexterity and that fitness already before she even gets the mystical, magical Slayer powers. So it's inbuilt.
Yeah, Amina's more of a watch TV and read kind of person. So yeah.
Exactly. Okay, if I'm a vampire, I'm being a vampire slayer. Because obviously
right,
vampire
of course,
hunter.
vampire
Otherwise,
hunter.
no, put me in the cavity and then we can have a TV series together as well. It'll be very hot.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
He can drive the Impala. It's fine. I don't mind putting my feet up.
Yeah, it's fine.
Supernatural TV series, of course, like you said, but Mulder and Scully.
Right, this is where it came from. This was the inspiration for Supernatural.
Well, we already said that this became before Scream because it's set in 1995 and Scream's 1996. Right. So when Mina's being chased through the mansion, that scene inspired Scream. So well done.
I mean, obviously, it was a thing. I know. It was in the newspaper. Kevin Williamson saw Wes Craven. They were like, yeah, we need to make a movie about this.
Yeah, we do.
Exactly.
I definitely didn't steal it from anywhere. See,
no.
I did it first.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yours comes first. It was 1995.
1995.
Thank you. I like that. I'm going to remember this excuse going forward.
Next question. Would you rather drink beer and play PlayStation or go to a Halloween party?
Now, if it's an 80s or 90s Halloween party, like in Hocus Pocus, where everyone is beautiful and it's a PG, so nobody's like throwing up like purple vomit on your feet because they've drunk too much, or like, you know, crashing into you and spilling drinks on you. Like, that's not my kind of party. I like the kind of 80s movie party. So if it's that, Halloween party. If it's the more kind of realistic version of what parties turn into in the UK, I'm going with PlayStation minus the beer plus lots of chocolate. So yeah. Not beer drinker, but PlayStation, yes. And I played PlayStations in the 90s, so authentic. I was playing Tekken and Xena and stuff like that mid-90s, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
See, every Halloween party I've ever gone to always inevitably ends up in the kitchen. I just end up hanging in the kitchen, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not quite the movie version of our dreams, is it usually, when we go to a real party? It's like Hollywood has really kind of oversold this.
They really have.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in the 90s I was in secondary school and our teachers, our headmaster, never let any parties. We were allowed one Christmas party in year 7 and that was it.
Aww. So yeah, we had school discos. They weren't exactly very wild.
The only school discos we ever had were in junior school, and the boys were one side, the girls were other, and then awkward music was played, and nobody danced.
That's crazy to me. In my
it's a British institution.
See, in my middle school dances, I was dancing up on the table because it was in the school cafeteria. I was on the table, like in patent leather go-go boots dancing. So
I can see that.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Also, like, we have Nintendo parties in our family. You know, me and Jacob, that's our whole entire family. We have our Nintendo parties at least once a month, and it's just the two of us playing video games and like eating junk food. And sometimes it's PlayStation. It's not always Nintendo. So that's my go-to thing. So I really, really appreciate that. But also, like, look at me. I have to be in costume all the time.
No, literally, look at you. You're Dracula.
So I love a Halloween party. Can I host a Halloween party? Instead of going to one, can I host it?
If you host the Halloween party, I'm coming to the Halloween party. Because I'm very selective. I don't want to just go to some rando Halloween party because I want a discerning guest list.
Yes, okay. So I'll host it, and we'll also play PlayStation.
Yes.
I was going to say, can we have PlayStation in one of the rooms?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, that's the answer then. We're all going with
Done.
that. We're going to Amanda's Halloween party.
Fine. This
Done.
works for me. Love
Done.
it. Love it.
All right. A little more serious with this one. Would you rather be betrayed by Nat or Paige?
Either way, you gotta slap a bitch.
You gotta slap a bitch.
They're both terrible people, aren't they, really? But on the scale of terrible people, I think Nat is worse because at least Paige tells you she's a terrible person right the moment she meets Mina. She's like, she's horrible and she's racist and pretty sure she's just everything that she possibly, everything a bad person can be, she is rolled into one.
Yeah.
And
she's highly entitled as well, isn't she?
She is, but she tells you who she is, and I kind of appreciate that about her. Like, have you seen Jawbreakers, Rose McGowan's character in that? Like, she's just evil on the surface, evil underneath. Whereas Nat is best friend on the surface, stabs one of your friends in the chest, and then stabs you metaphorically in the back. So yeah, Nat is much worse in my book. How about
agree.
You two? Like, are you with me? Nat's a more terrible human being.
Yeah, she really is. She's your brand new best friend. Come on, that's harsh. At least, you know, Paige is just built in. She's terrible already. You already expect the worst from her, but Nat is your friend. That's painful.
Mina doesn't treat Nat very nice though either. I mean, this is not defending Nat's behaviour at all. Nat is a horrible person. She's two-faced and she's a murderer. But Mina pushes Nat away. She's, you know, like when she comes to drop the dictaphone off, she's obviously got something very important to say, but Mina's like, no, I don't have time for you. And she just constantly...
Literally pushes her out the door and shuts it.
Literally pushes her out the door.
But in Mina's defense, she's trying to protect her and she's trying to kind of... she wants a moment with Della who's going through something, but she doesn't think that Nat... She thinks that Nat is pure and virtuous and needs to be outside that world, whereas Nat is kind of already in it and the worst part of it. But yeah, I kind of saw Mina as thinking that she'd been dragged into this world and, you know, does she want her friend in there as well? Like...
But Mina's making decisions on behalf of other people. She's trying to tell Carly, don't go to the underground, don't be associated with it, it's a slippery slope. Yeah. However, considering the amount of clientele the underground will have, the percentage of the slippery slope happening is very small. And I'll be honest, that scene, Mina really annoyed me because I thought, you're 18. Yeah, you've had the Fang Fest thing that's happened, but you're telling somebody who's 21, who's older than you, and probably be doing the vampire lifestyle thing a bit longer than you've been knowledgeable of vampires, what to do. Who the hell do you think you are? Shut up and no. I really, Mina, in that little scene, I thought, you need to shut up. You can't be telling people what to do.
I don't know. I'm still Team Mina. Like, I just
think she had good intentions.
Yeah, but
she's
that's
got
the
good
thing.
intentions.
Like, I think she doesn't always do things right, but I think that she was like trying to say, like, I know vampires are real and you don't, and you're kind of getting embroiled in this thing that could be really bad, and like everybody involved in this seems to get murdered. So yeah, that's what I think she was trying to think. She's always trying. I know that she can be like domineering, but she's doing it to try and help people. That's
I get that. Think. But the problem that Mina's got is everybody she knows is a serial killer. So her viewpoint is skewed. I think it was just that she was just being the usual teenager of, I know what's best and I'm going to tell somebody who's older than me. And I was like, no, shut up, don't do that. As an older person who gets told off frequently by somebody younger than me.
Yeah. I mean, mine's older too, and I get that.
Yeah.
I think that we should just tell Cafferty what's going on and then stare dreamily into his eyes.
Yeah,
Cafferty he can rev the engine of his Impala.
He can. Cracking pool cues over his knee. And then he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to suit up. And he comes back with a crossbow. Oh, I love him so much.
And he's so practical. He's like, so we need to find this information. I'll call the Coast Guard. Hello. 5 minutes later, there's your information. It's like, this is what we needed all the time.
He is the level-headed, smart, sexy grown-up we all need in our lives.
I appreciate the fact that he went and like found out vampires are real, and the first thing he does is like just whittle loads of steaks ready. He's like, okay, they're real. I'm just gonna prepare myself.
Yeah, ever since I found out, I've been whittling, and they're like, oh, great, that's perfect. And then he's got a whole quiver full of whittled crossbow steaks.
Handcrafted.
And he's ready.
Yeah.
He's prepared.
I have my own set of wheels to be able to get to locations and a crossbow. You're in.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, why do they even need the others who've tagged along? Right, just take Cafferty.
Just take Cafferty. Always. Oh. I love it.
Last question.
Pause for Amanda to have a moment.
I know.
Oh, she's got the hot flushes now.
I do.
Would you rather go on a rip-roaring rampage of revenge on the steamboat or just blow the boat up?
I think we've established that I'm a scaredy cat. I'm not like a kind of John McClane going in a blaze of glory person. I'm the person who runs in, puts the explosives in, and runs away and watches from a safe distance and enjoys the fire. But you know,
you get your marshmallows out.
Yeah, I
and as you're pressing the button down.
Yeah, cartoon puncher. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fight my way through person. I mean, you've seen me. I'm Mina, who like falls through the situations haphazardly. So no, safe distance for me every time, please.
So again, it's the lovers not fighters situation.
Yeah, I'm assuming you two are the same, maybe, but unless the vampire hunter like exclusion kicks in again.
It does, of course, it always does.
All the time.
All vampires, all the time. The only thing I'm worried about is knowing that the vampire that we're focused on killing actually died. Because if you just go in there and blow stuff up willy-nilly, you're not going to know for sure, and then she's going to turn up. So that's the only reason why I would go straight in, killing people left and right, is because I have to know. Is she dead?
Yeah.
That's very true, actually. It's that's practical. I like it. You need to think about the real situations in this.
Yes, it's real. It's realistic and practical.
Yes.
Well, wasn't that Paige's reasoning? Rosario's reasoning. It's like, you can blow it up, but we need to know that she's dead.
Yeah, we gotta know, 100%. And she might not die in the explosion. She might not even be there. It could be an elaborate scheme. It could be a murder trap.
Well, it's going to be a murder trap regardless.
Yeah.
That may or may not be true. That's true. That's 100% true. You're right.
Was the mallet, Veronica's mallet, Harley Quinn nod?
It might have been just a little one. I kind of saw Veronica as Harley Quinn in the first book particularly, like just the things she says and like the sing-song voice and the fact that I think even as a human she maybe had some issues that she needed to work through, and then
she's batshit local is what she is.
And then making her a vampire just kind of made her worse, and making her a vampire who wasn't allowed to do anything as well, that she was kind of looked after and treated like a little girl, and she didn't want to be that, so it just made her worse over time.
Yeah, she's bound to
snap. So is that what you think Claudia would have turned into if she was a little bit older than there before being able to give a little bit more autonomy?
Yeah, I mean, Claudia, she's such a tragic character. I could just do a whole podcast about her. But yeah, I mean, Claudia sort of was an interesting one because she started as this petulant kind of little thing, didn't she? Who just was more like the star. And then as she grew, she just had so much potential that she didn't get to realise. So sad.
She did.
She's dead.
But they're making an interview TV series.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it on? I haven't watched it yet.
I think
can you watch it over in the States? Or?
I think that I can. Hold on. I have
I
not.
They're still filming it.
I haven't. I think it's available, or maybe it's coming soon.
I always have mixed feelings about these things. It's like, are they making a Lost Boys remake? And my first reaction was like, why? Because Lost Boys is like one of my favourite films. Like, why do you touch it? Does it need remaking?
No, it doesn't.
And that's the thing. Like, part of me's like, yes, more Interview with the Vampire, but then I'm like, is it needed though? Like,
it's on AMC from the 2nd of October, Amanda.
Yes, it's out now. That's why I was waiting patiently to say that I can watch it now. But I'm still watching Vampire Academy right now.
We have previously shown AMC shows.
okay.
UK viewers determined to catch the show as it airs can do so by signing up to BTTV and broadband. Ugh. Why would you want to do that?
Oh, that sounds expensive. Okay, I'll just wait. I'm not like desperate enough to pay for a new subscription to get it. So yeah, I'll wait and see what happens. I haven't read any reviews or anything as well, so I'd like to see what the kind of reception is for it.
Yeah.
It's more likely it's going to show up to Disney Plus or Prime Video later on. So it looks like they're going to get a first BT TV, but it will move over eventually. Because Walking Dead's AMC, and that's what it's on Bit Disney. So there you go. There you go.
Excellent research skills. Okay.
Google.
Okay, so it's time. It's time to ask.
Would you rather?
No, we've already done that. We've rushed through Would You Rather, and now we're skipping over some of our other questions, and maybe or maybe not, we'll come back to them. Who knows? Because we always get lost. But we need to know. There are 4 things, you said?
I think there are 4. I wrote this down just to make sure that I wasn't going to forget it. Okay, see, the one you picked up was that Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that from you. Like, there's no two ways about it. I wrote that and thought, those 2 are going to like it, I hope.
Yes.
Literally squeed. I got to the book before Amanda did, and I said, no spoilers. You can spoil it, you can go if you want, but you need to look at page 296.
Yep.
And she did. And I heard the squee.
Yeah.
Just heard it across the ocean, you know.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that you 2 would like that. I thought that was a little nod to you 2. And then you said some really good stuff, so I just kind of lifted all the ideas from our last episode. Excuse me, and put them in the book. So
good.
One of them,
that's what we're here for.
I think it was you, Amanda, that said we needed a Candyman room. So I was like, yes, we do, obviously. So
yes.
Let's just get that in there.
Yes.
So that was one of them. I mean, can you guess? I'll give you a clue. Another one was a song, which I also stole from you, Amanda. Which song?
You stole a song?
Yeah, I stole a song
God.
from you.
There were so many songs mentioned, and I loved every single one of them.
And there was one.
I knew we should have done that list.
We should have.
There was one that was a song from a wedding, I think. And I stole it from Mina and Jared to dance to. And they danced to it at a party, a Halloween party.
Which?
And it's from...
The only song we've written down, I wrote down, was the Strange People.
Oh, yeah, People Are Strange.
People Are Strange.
Okay, so is it the same party as that? But...
I'm so bad at music.
It's from
I know.
It's from a movie, and it's from Batman Forever.
Oh my God, it's Kiss from a Rose. You're so right. You're so right. Oh my God. Yes, when I read that, I puddled on the inside. It's like, they're dancing to that song.
I was like, what song can I make
Ah.
Mina and Jared dance to that's going to be like a little melty moment? And I thought, yeah, Kiss from a Rose. It's like got to be the most romantic song, like one of ever, right? So,
yes.
although it
yes.
makes no sense.
It doesn't matter.
I can make Kiss on a Rose from the Grey. It used to be a great
Claire, we
song.
missed
You really
missed
can't
that
overthink
one.
that one.
No.
Yeah. It makes no sense. That
Yeah,
song.
but you know, I stole that from you. And what was the other thing? I wrote all these down because I knew I was going to forget.
Gary Oldman's Dracula.
I mean, yes,
that was
the other thing. I was like, so I took a while thinking, what are Mina and Jared going to dress as, right? So I knew straight away Libby and Della were going to be from Labyrinth, and I thought that
Yes,
that
and that was
suits them.
amazing.
That's
Love
fine.
that.
That
It was
suits
amazing.
them. But what are Mina and Jared going to be? Then I was like, oh my God, like how did I think of that? Okay, Jared's will start. So what other vampire can he be? I think maybe Dracula, and then
Gary Oldman.
yeah, I know. It just all came together. And I
But
went
it's
for
so-
this, I went for this particular, there's an image of them that they used on the promo with her in the big red flowing dress and him in the suit with like the gold detailing on it and the flowing hair. And I was like, yeah, those 2 together. Jared can wear a bad wig and look good and wear the stick-on facial hair, as you do. Or is yours drawn on, stuck on?
Mine's drawn on.
Okay.
It's drawn on facial hair.
I think Jared's was stuck on facial hair, and he still looks good, as you do.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just stole a few things from Fictional Hangover and put them straight in my book. I hope that's okay, right?
That's
I
what
will
we're
give
here
to you.
for. Yes. It's the first time, Claire, that it's actually like 100% we're positive that it happened. So
It happened.
I actually
and it's
confirmed.
real.
Yeah, I stole not 1 but 4 things from you.
Yes.
all of our dreams are coming true right now.
I feel like it's that kind of book, isn't it? That in the sequel, I really wanted there to be more pop culture references. I was like, there'd been quite a few in the first book, and I held back a little bit because I thought, is this going to really annoy people? Because I know sometimes people don't want it, but I think when it's set in the 90s, you kind of want to be grounded in that moment in time and get all the movies and the songs and the TV shows thrown at you. So I went for it. Kev wrote down a list for me from book 1 and book 2. The list for book 2 was just like pages and pages compared with like half a page on book 1. So yeah, I really went for it. I had lots of fun.
You could tell there was a lot more movies mentioned in this one, but you mentioned Blockbuster Video and stuff, and so it felt like it was more movie orientated as well. Like with Will being such a movie buff, and going through all the John Hughes things, it felt like you had to.
Yeah.
But also there were so many great songs. And I mean, Claire, we talked about this a little bit ago. Like we were going to go back through and write down all the titles of songs and then put together a playlist.
Well, there's a Spotify playlist. So somebody made one, a girl called Katie, and then Kev, of course, made one. For book 1 and book 2, so you can listen to them at your leisure. They are actually really good when you hear, because I just chose songs that I remembered liking in the 90s or that I've listened to since, and when I sat and listened to the playlist, I was like, these are actually good songs, like not just the snippets that I remembered, like it's pretty good. I don't think I put a dud one on there. There wasn't any that I cringed and thought, oh, I should have missed that one off.
I'm sure there was the Cranberry Zombie. It was in it as well.
Zombie. Yeah,
and I was literally like listening to it because I had a bit of a rubbish day. And on our group chat, and I went, right, recommend the grunge stuff. I love grunge and punk music and metal. And I was like, just give me it, because I like the kind where you just like, you've got to sing along, but you've also got to move to it and have like a kitchen dance party. And I had the Cranberry Zombie on, and it was the first song everybody in our group chat, with Amanda was in that as well, recommended. And then we ended up progressing to sea shanties.
We did. We went down a long list.
That's the natural progression, isn't it? The Cranberries to sea shanties.
Angry Revenge sea shanties, I think it was.
Yep.
But yeah, it was all just like 90s. I said, if it's 90s grunge punk, I'm there. Like the soundtrack to 10 Things I Hate About You and Empire Records are two of the best compilation albums ever. And that is my hill, and I will fight people on it.
Did you ever listen to that Decemberist song that I told you to listen to? Because it's 100% a revenge
but yes,
sea shanty.
It was a really long song, but yes, it was really good.
Okay. Just making sure that you actually listened to it.
Yes, you can check my Spotify history.
I will. I will check for the Mariner's Revenge, because that's what it's called. Everyone should listen to that right now. By the Decemberists. Not 90s. Unfortunately.
That's the whole bane of my life. Like when I think, I thought of a really good reference, it's from 1996. So the amount of times that I want to put stuff in and it isn't the right time period, it's quite galling, really. But
I love the song Creep as well, but when my husband sings it, he gets we've got a piccolo ukulele. So you know ukuleles. Well, this one's teeny tiny, but it's really high pitch, and he plays it so slowly and sings Creep, and it is the weirdest, creepiest, horriblest thing you could possibly do to that song. And it's like, can you stop now, please? I don't like it. I need an adult.
I think you need to record that for our viewing pleasure at some point, please.
I think that you do.
We need to restring the piccolo ukulele. One of the strings did get snapped, but yeah, it's amazing. I might actually have a recording of that somewhere. I'll have to check. But it's creepy. It's really creepy.
Well, it's Creep, so it has to be.
Yeah, well, that's why it's allowable, but you still... Ooh, I don't like it.
Awesome.
One of those things.
I love that. Was an accidental, in joke there. I didn't even know that one, and I put it in there. So.
That's perfect. Oh, it's so good.
Accidental in jokes are just as good.
Yeah.
They are. They really are. They're reverse engineered. That's fine.
That's how I wrote my whole sequel. Stuff I'd put in book 1. I was like, I definitely planned that was going to be a thing in the sequel, obviously.
Just wait till you hear all the other ones you've got to write now.
I know. You've got so much ahead of you.
To this. I'm just going to sit there and make notes and figure out what I can steal. That'll save me a lot of time, actually. Thank you.
We do our
One
best.
of them is Cafferty trilogy, just, pre-warn you there. That's already.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I've left that wide open because we're allowed spoilers, aren't we? That when
Of course.
he goes off with Armand, I was like, this is a whole series of books right there. Like
Yeah.
the bit of time that they spend. Can you imagine those two in a car together? Like, can you?
So great.
Awkward conversation. Like,
Yeah.
Cafferty is trying to be really chatty, and
Yeah.
Armand's like, no.
I can see your death.
It's
that's a
Sam and
conversation
Dean.
ender. Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
And Cafferty has to tell Armand to shut his cake hole.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have Eye of the Tiger at one point playing really loudly on that road trip, then I'm sorry, you've not done your job right.
No.
And they stay in those really crappy hotels that you can only get in America.
And
Yes.
Dean just
With
eats
the
during every
wallpaper.
conversation. You're like talking to him, and he's like, "Yep, sandwich. Hang on,
Yep.
sandwich."
Yep. Burger.
There's got to be a
pie.
really uncomfortable diner scene where he's like got this big, like, Cafferty's got this huge burger, and it's just Armand sitting there with a glass of water looking all sad.
Yeah.
Excuse me one moment. Goes for a nip out, comes back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yep, it's perfect.
and he's smiling now.
Flush to his cheeks.
Yeah, I know. I really don't want to write spin-offs. I have to say, I don't want to write spin-offs, but that does make me like, I kind of do want to write that.
You should.
I just don't want
At
it
least
to
a
go on
short
forever.
story.
But like the thing where a series goes on forever, and some people have done that and
On
enjoyed it, but I just don't want to do it because I can't keep it all in my head. I cannot manage.
That's so funny. We had this conversation already. We were
did.
like, okay, so
but
it's
it's not
either
a series though.
right.
It was individuals.
Right, that's true. But she said she didn't want to do spin-offs, and those are 100% spin-offs. But we were thinking like, okay, so this is either going to be, a trilogy, and it's going to wrap up nicely, and the mom's going to be involved, and that's the end because she's the key between all three of them. So that's going to be the end, and it's going to wrap up, and it's going to be fine. And then we were like, or it could just keep going forever, and we'd be fine with that as well.
But not Mina as the star. Mina and the is one set of trilogy.
Yes.
And then
And
Cafferty
then it goes on to other
and
things. Yes. And then there's
I
a
want the
prequel
Della
with
one.
Thandi.
a prequel with that, just a one. But I want the Della one.
So you've planned the whole multiverse for me, is what you're saying?
We have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the gist of the conversation we had. There's probably lots more details involved, but that's basically
There were a few more specifics, but I can't remember them fully off the top of my head.
It's that
Mostly-
thing though, like, Lost is one of the TV shows that I really liked, the first 2 seasons of it. And then it carries on, you're like, okay, it's all right. And then it just slowly deteriorates until it like fizzles and dies, in my opinion. Some people may love it. I'm really sorry if you do and you're listening to this. However, I don't want to be like the really long series, like say the True Blood series that we're reading. I'm still loving every single book. There are some that I think that are better than others, but I'm still like in it. Whereas I can't see this story. This story in my head has always been 3 books. And yeah, it might branch off in different directions, like you said, with different characters, but Mina's arc ends in a specific place in my head. And I can't like push that any further because I just don't think it would be right for these characters in this like moment that I wanted to capture.
Yeah. That's
And I
fine.
think that's what we were saying as well, wasn't it? That it feels like Mina's got this like overarching arc with the mother, and now, and that story is going to end, and you don't need to do them book 4 where you're shoehorning and forcing things in, which is why we're talking about other characters and what kind of interesting adventure they could get up to, and you could, leaving New Orleans behind, where you're not then for reliant on all of this myriad of background knowledge and make those mistakes. You can move away, go to a different part of the country, a different country completely, and create this whole new thing outside of the Mina and
I think the whole thing with vampire human relationships, I think as well, it's always going to come to that kind of moment of, oh, I'm going to live forever, I'm going to age, and you're not going to age. And I kind of didn't want that for Mina and Jared. I just wanted to like not drag that out. I think I'm just happy with there being this moment and it ending there, because I don't know, that turns it into a different kind of book. I think it become like a paranormal romance, and it has that element, but I don't want that to kind of overpower everything else.
Yeah.
And also, how many murders can Mina like witness? Like, she's got really bad luck. I mean, serial killers are quite rare statistically, and she's only come across a handful of them. So yeah, there's lots of logistics involved, but
It's going to get to a stage where Cafferty and Bordeaux are like, you're involved in a lot of murders.
I did. Yeah, that crossed my mind in book one.
bit
It's
Jessica
like,
Fletcher.
so you arrive, and suddenly people start being murdered horribly, and then yeah.
I feel like if she were turned into a vampire, that would be her power, to just attract murderers. They're just all swarming to her all the time.
Like that episode of Buffy where who was it? Was a demon? Was it Xander was a demon magnet, and like demons just chased him because Willow said it was so, and it was so. Yeah, like that.
That's what's happening.
Sorry, niche Buffy reference of the podcast. I'm sure there'll be a few more.
We love a niche Buffy reference. I saw Buffy books in Barter Books yesterday, and I didn't get them. I was gonna, but I didn't.
I've been like slowly.
Cookbook.
Yeah.
The only Buffy books I'm interested in are Kendara Blake's.
Yeah, they're so good. Have you managed? You haven't read the second one yet?
No. No, we haven't.
We're not that lucky.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure we are. If we just asked her for it, she would send it to us.
I think she probably would. I would send you mine, but she personalised it, and I'm like, I'm not like that. Book out my site, like.
Ooh, no.
Oh no, that gets locked in the cabinet.
Yeah,
somewhere.
no. I've moved it from the shelf the other day, and I had a genuine panic because I got, where's the Kendara Blake proof? Okay, it's there. I can relax and go about my day now. It's fine.
We definitely just need to ask her for it.
Yeah,
she would give it to us.
It's very, very, very good.
She did send me one of the promotional lipsticks from all these.
Oh, did she? Cool. Yeah, no, I was a bit sad. Like
one.
we couldn't get that as our pre-order incentive, could we?
No, and I nearly cried to her, and she's like, it was pretty much a pity send. So thanks, Kendara, but I appreciate it. Anywho, should we actually ask some of the questions that we have?
We probably should. I think first and foremost, we need to ask, because of what has happened to us right now, Lestat or Dracula? You can only pick one.
I think that is the worst question you've ever asked me. Like, I actually feel offended by it. I feel insulted by it. I'm going to walk out right now. Okay.
Physically attacked by that question.
Yeah, I do. However, I don't know what you can expect me to say, but I am going to say Lestat. I know, because he was my first like proper vampire that I came across. So when I met Lestat in Interview with the Vampire, I don't think I even knew Dracula existed. And I think that the vampires I still like are the kind of Lestat vampires where they're morally grey and walk that line of serial killer and love interest. And I'm still interested in that kind of vampire. I think when I was 9, I knew that was going to be my vampire jam. So yeah, I want both of them, obviously, but Lestat is my number one choice. So I'm really sorry, Dracula. How about you two, though? I'm going to ask you the same question now, and you have to answer.
There is no question.
Okay.
This is
okay.
You don't want me to answer that because I get wrong for going off on a Dracula tangent. And...
You will go off on a Dracula tangent. We're not allowed to let her talk about Dracula, so.
Okay. Can you give me a one-word answer? Is the answer Dracula, full stop, or?
No, it's not. If I had to pick, I'd pick Lestat. But then, spending 6 months examining one book will make you crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's interesting. A university course has studied my book, and the lecturer thought it was a retelling of Dracula. And I was like, she's a Dracula specialist, as in this is her. She's brought on TV to talk about Dracula. And she thought book 1 was a Dracula retelling, and I thought that's really interesting because she'd obviously imposed all this Dracula stuff into it that I don't think was there. But yeah.
Yeah. No.
And I think that's really
amazing.
interesting. That's where like readers' interpretation is so interesting. And I think that often, like, you know, when you study a book and it's like symbolism, themes, metaphor, extended metaphor, and you're like, the writer never intended any of that to like be teased out by a reader. Like Shakespeare didn't know that we were going to be like counting the beats of every line and go, oh, is iambic pentameter slip there? you know.
Oh, bloody
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
but that's the thing. Like,
I
it wasn't kind of written to be scrutinized, was it? It was written to be performed once and then move on, perform something else.
Well, exactly. I remember doing way back when I did my bachelor's degree, and I had like spare credits. I had 5 credits, and there was a history of cinema course. 5 credits, fantastic. Me and my friends signed up, and it was hilarious because it was all these film study buffs, and there was a lot of black and white movies, and we watched Alfred Hitchcock and It's a Wonderful Life and stuff like that. And we're watching, I can't even remember, and it was all black and white, and it was the use of shadow to tell the story. And sitting in this room with film buff students, I went, sometimes a shadow is just a shadow. Yeah. And it was so funny. I pretty much incited a riot. Nearly. It was so funny. I went, but I'm, bearing in mind I'm doing an English degree, so I'm reading books and having to interpret random stuff out of things. But sometimes it's a sentence that's just been written because the writer thinks it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Or they needed to get that character to that place and they went there using some words that they came up with and didn't think about.
Well, exactly.
It wasn't an extended metaphor for their internal strife or whatever. It was just a sentence.
It was just a sentence to get from A to B, exactly. And, I had that conversation in the literature modules as well. Drove my lecturers absolutely crazy because I didn't like... I was like, you're going crazy. You're going too far. But then we did have a lot of conversations about once a book's published, well, who owns the book? Technically, there's legal ownership and rights and everything. But you, as the author, can't control my interpretation. Mm-mm. But that's where it gets interesting, and you think, I never wrote this with any intention of it to be Dracula. And Dracula might never be your favourite. It might be Lestat or Damien or, one of a million, and your influences are more pop culture movies than pop culture literature. But it's how people have then interpreted it. And that's, the woman you're talking about who's done that Dracula module, she lives and breathes the Dracula book, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where she's coming from. And I always find that very interesting. But sometimes a shadow is just a shadow and there's no ulterior motive for a character's actions.
Yeah, I went to see Laini Taylor talk once, and she said that something that she had to learn really early on was that she lets the book go, and when she's finished writing it, it's not hers anymore. Like, it belongs to readers. And I think that's true. And you'll get, for every person who messaged me and says, I love that character, somebody else will say, I hate them. I'm sure you meant them to be super annoying, didn't you? And I was like, well, no, but they can be whatever you want them to be. Like, I think there aren't many things that people could say. And if they've given a reasoned answer, I'm kind of not going to be too offended because I think that's just your opinion.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, just going back to the conversation we had about Mina being irritating to me and just telling Carly off, but you're perfectly fine with it. But then it's world experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know, like, we'd all, like, certain people read the book and think that Libby's annoying. Like, I think sometimes she's annoying, but I've had an older sister recently, weirdly called Libby, who said that she, like, really liked Libby and she could kind of see that older sister dynamic. She was like, yeah, you got that right. And I was like, oh, I am an older sister to a boy. Like, I don't have a sister. So it was quite nice that she felt that I'd got the sister dynamic right. But other people might read that and go, no, you don't understand siblings. Do you even have one? So yeah. The only thing I don't like is if somebody says, I don't usually like vampire and horror, but I thought I'd give this one a go. And you know what? I didn't like it. I'm like, okay, they're the only ones. Occasionally I get tagged in stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm just going to walk away because that's the only thing. I don't know.
Just ignore those people.
Yeah, I just don't get that. Like, as a reviewer, I don't understand that. Like, I don't think I'd ever go on my way to review a book and say, I don't like, well, I can't think of anything I don't particularly read, but I don't tend to read books about war or something.
Yeah.
And I really hated this one. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, of course, because you already don't like it. So you're not going to like it when you read it in this form either, because you're predisposed to hate it. So
yeah, I thought I'd test
why
my
are you even doing it?
And I still do. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's impressed.
Exactly. Amanda, in the library, you're not going to have a patron come up to you and say, I like to read contemporary YA romance and take them straight to the World War I history section, are you?
No, that's not how it works. But I am I am the go-to, even though there are teen librarians in the building. Everyone's like, no, go and ask Amanda. Go ask Amanda what she wants or what you should read next because she knows.
She does. What is your actual role? Like, what is your title in the library?
I am the public services manager. So I am in charge of the circulation department. So I get to see and interact with every single person that comes in the building.
Oh, cool. Which you're also good at, but it's nice to have the YA string to your bow as well.
I know, and there's so many teens who, when they come to check out, because that's my station is, or my office is right behind the checkout desk. So you see everyone. So I push my way through the rest of my staff when I see my favorite teens coming in. Like, oh, so what did you check out this time? Oh, tell me all about it. Oh, I can't wait to see what you think about this one. It's fantastic. I've recently got an older patron into Strange the Dreamer.
Oh, nice.
Going back to Lainey Taylor. He was like, oh, yeah, this book's really good. I never would have picked it up, but I'm glad you told me to read it. Yeah, because Steve West's voice is made of dreams. He's listening to the audio, too.
It's been a couple of weeks since you've mentioned it. It's been a couple of weeks.
I know. But it's a lot of fun seeing every single patron that comes in. And, I've been there for more than a year now. And it's nice to see, patrons that you know and, oh, hey, I can recommend this book to you because I see that this is what you always check out. So it's a good time.
Yeah, I signed some books in the Waterstones in Hull recently, and it was quite amazing to see the bookseller at work. She literally, she knew her regulars, and she was walking up to people and saying, oh, you read this book recently. I think you'll like Mina and the Undead. And she just, was picking people out that she recognised or looked at what they were looking at and went, oh, you're looking at that, so you will like this. And she was doing it with other people's books as well as mine. And I was like, this is skill. I'm just seeing somebody who really knows their job, and it was amazing.
I saw Mina and the Slayers in the Accidental Bookshop at Alnwick yesterday.
Did you?
I literally went, ah!
What's the Accidental Bookshop? I don't think I've been there.
It's the opposite end to Barter Books.
Oh, okay. See, I've been to Barter Books, but I've not been there.
If it's literally around the corner from the entrance to the castle. It's lovely. I took a picture of it on the shelf so I could show you.
Thanks.
I take pictures of books and go in the wild and inevitably mean to tweet them out and then forget. But yes, I saw it because I was like, I'm talking to Amy tomorrow. And the bookseller was like, are you? I was like, yes. I shall tell you all about this podcast as I buy these books.
Yeah, don't buy mine. It's already behind you. That would just be,
Yeah, that would be overkill. Yeah. It's next to Scully Joe. You can't see him, but he is dressed in full vampire costume, trousers, shirt, and cape made by my very capable mother.
Capable. He does look broody. I feel like he's having kind of a Louis moment in the background. He sort of looks a bit like he's sulking and brooding. So yeah, he's having a Louis Stefan kind of angel vibe going on.
Oh
yeah, he does have multiple shirts. He's got a cravat as well. He's got a fluffy shirt on.
Does he have a tiny wardrobe made out of bones? I feel like that needs to be the next thing.
Well, considering it's Halloween, I can easily source some material.
You're going to have to get on that.
Yeah. And he does have a jumper and a beanie that my mum knitted as well.
So cute.
It's a tiny little sweater. I love it.
He's got a more impressive wardrobe than I do when it comes to dress up. Anywho, sorry.
I'm a little bit nervous about something because the name has come up twice. And only the one name and not the other one. Are you Stefan? Are you a Stefan fan?
Me?
Yeah.
Me? No. Okay, so
thank God.
I don't mind him, just like I don't mind Angel, and I don't look at them and want to slap them like some people do. I kind of appreciate the full range of the vampire emotion, but yeah, I prefer so you've got Eric and True Blood, not Bill. You've got
thank you.
Yes.
Damon,
not boring Bill.
Damon, not Stefan.
Yes.
And then you've got Spike, not Angel, although early teen me thought Angel was the be-all and end-all because, when you're 11 or 12 and you see David Boreanaz and he's wearing a white floaty shirt, it's just irresistible. And I don't think I understood Spike when I was that age, when I was too young for Spike. I needed to be mid-teen plus to appreciate Spike, I think. So yeah, that's the full history of my vampire interest, but the short answer is no to Stefan, yes to Damon.
I'm just really glad because Stefan has popped up a couple times in this conversation, and it's It's like a stake to the heart every time. Like, stop talking about Stefan. We all just need to talk about Damon. Because he's the best.
Yes.
He is. I think Stefan has some attributes. Like, he's a ripper sometimes, isn't he? So there's that.
Yeah.
But he's a little
Switched
bit annoying
off
as
his
a ripper.
humanity.
Yeah. So convenient.
You want your bad boys.
Isn't it? I'm just going to turn it off for a little while.
I'm going to turn it off for a while. It's fine.
But this actually ties nicely to an actual question that we were actually going to ask.
It's true.
And it's you're hosting a vampire Halloween party. Who are you going to invite?
Okay.
So are you going to have it all vampires? Are you going to have a mix of horrors?
All vampires all the time. I'm pretty sure.
I think I'm with you on the all vampires all the time. My first instinct was horror authors, and like obviously you two are included in that kind of
Cool.
just interesting horror people are needed.
Yes.
Invite the fictional vampires because we're talking vampire parties, so we're suspending our disbelief up to a point. So only the cool vampires need apply. So you're talking Eric, Damon, Spike. Maybe we need some guidelines like at the underground where it's like it needs to be consensual biting. But I figure that most of us going would just be like blanket consent anyway in that regard. I'm only speaking for myself here. So yeah, I think an interesting...
Oh no, we freely admitted would be fang bangers, I think.
Oh yeah. If vampires are real, that's where you're going straight away, isn't it? Definitely. As close to Eric as you can get.
Definitely.
But yeah. How about you two? Anybody I've missed that should come to this fictional vampire party with the fictional vampires?
Which Lestat? Are you going Tom Cruise or are you going like the more modern Lestat or like I can't remember the actor's name who played Grey Worm in Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
But he's pretty.
He was in Queen of the Damned. What do you call him?
Stuart Townsend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as keen on his interpretation. I don't know whether it's just that Tom Cruise is so ingrained in my head as that version of Lestat that I kind of can't deviate from it. So he's so far as Lestat in my head, but I need to see the performance. The other guy looks good in pictures, but I purposely haven't watched the promo stuff because I want to watch it not having seen anything.
Fresh eyes.
Yeah.
I have to go with all of the vampires that have already been mentioned, of course. And I have to include Adrian from Vampire Academy.
Say it right. Say it properly.
Adrian
has to be there.
I need to reread Vampire Academy. I'm so annoyed with myself that I missed your read along with it because when you get so far behind, I can't catch up now. I can't catch up. I did well so far. I'm up to date with True Blood. I've read one a month.
Oh, nice.
Well,
have you
read? The beautiful thing with podcasting is they're always there.
Well, that's the thing. True. I need to know though. I'm going to find out what you do next year because if I'm like on board with that and I'm reading one a month of those, but if not, I might like jump back to some of the old ones and just like I don't tolerate this new thing. I'm going to do the old ones. So yeah, we'll see. Have you decided what you do next year?
We haven't officially announced it, but we'll tell you after we've recorded.
Yes, we will quietly tell you what we're doing.
Oh, I love these privileges. I feel so special.
So I'm upset that you two are both in the UK, so that means that you can't, legally watch the Vampire Academy TV show that's happening right now.
I do feel quite like sore about it is the only way I can describe that.
Yeah.
Like,
Adrian was in the latest episode, and I need people who understand my obsession with Adrian Ivashkov to have also watched it so I can talk about it / complain about him a little bit because
as soon as we've got an Amanda in the UK, I will hammer through it and we will do a special Fictional Hangover spoiler-filled talk through.
We really need to because I'm feeling ways about it. I really, really am. And that's not to say I'm not disappointed in it at all because, it's a world that already exists that someone else is reinterpreting in a different way. And it's just all 6 of the Vampire Academy books plus some stuff from the spinoff just mashed into one thing. So the timeline is a little bit different, which is fine because the story was written from Rose's point of view and there's all this other stuff going on in the background, but now we're seeing other people handling the background stuff at the same time. So it makes sense. It's fine.
That's what we said though in the recordings that once it turns from just purely Rosa's perspective, it really picks up some speed.
Yeah.
And it really, it gets much more interesting. Which was the same with the House of Night books. As soon as we started getting other people's perspectives, it changed completely and made it so much easier to read. But yeah, okay, I can't wait. What I've seen, I'm excited by, and I know it's a completely different beast to the books. But there's no Dewey Dimitri. Dimitri isn't Dewey. He's ripped.
The unfortunate part is that it's Adrian who's doughy. Adrian is the doughy motherfucker this time, and it's upsetting.
What I am excited by that is so very different from the movie, so we can still keep that movie close to our hearts.
That's true, because the movie was stellar in every way. Anyway, we need to get back on.
Speaking of movies, which horror movie scene do you want to star in?
I want to start in The Lost Boys, and I haven't put it in the mansion yet. I'm thinking about whether I can do it or not, whether it would work, but I'm imagining like David's Cave. I'm seeing like Kiefer Sutherland look-alike and, beautiful Michael look-alike, and like this kind of back and forth with the containers of Chinese food that aren't Chinese food. That's the scene I want to see. I want to see them like trying to get the guests on the tour, like eating the maggots and stuff. Like, that's the scene I want to be in. How about you two? Do you have like a scene in your heads, like either one that I've written or like one you want to write for yourselves?
If we're in the mansion of the macabre,
well, there's only one place you're going.
I am diving through Candyman's mirror mouth and out into the gritty underground area. That's where I'm going to be. That's where I live. I'm just moving in because, God, Candyman, it's so great, and I was so just ecstatic reading it. Like, it's real. She's put the Candyman room in, and here it is. And there's like the graffiti on the walls, and it's so perfect. So just know that even if people are like, yeah, I don't like vampire books, and I read your vampire book, and I hate your vampire book. No, me, sold, fan for life, but just.
It's so funny. I really thought that
special.
This was going to be like a really tiny niche that like, would anybody have this very specific interest that I have in like horror movies and vampires? And it turns out they do. It's so nice to hear like people and all different kinds of people. Like, there's not necessarily one certain like group who are reading it. It's really interesting to see from like really young teenagers to adults. It's great. This is like the best thing.
So good.
Thank you.
So good. Just the thought that you Candyman for me.
I know, I did. You totally gave me the idea. Like, even as you were saying it during the podcast, I was like, store that, remember it, write it down. I need it.
Oh, it's so good.
The pressure now, though, is like, what have I missed? Assume I get to write this third book. What have I missed that I need to put in it? Because the pressure now, because that it's going to be published, then I'd be like, I forgot this room. I can't go back out there. Quick, whoever.
All my horror movies that I'm thinking of are like 2000. Like, one of my favourites is 13 Ghosts. It's
13 Ghosts is
rubbish,
so good, and it's
I
already
freaking love
broken.
it.
And it's already broken up into rooms.
Yeah, I like just do like a 13 Ghost special at the Mansion in McCaw.
I mean, I'm assuming it will still be there for a while, so you could just wait a bit and then be in that room in like whatever year that came out, so that's fine.
What year did The Mummy come out?
I want to say that's late 90s. I think I've looked and checked and it's not. Does somebody have the internet at their fingertips?
1999.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Ooh, do you know what I like?
No. One of the greatest horror movies that is undersung and not done enough, and it's freaking amazing. The Frighteners.
Frighteners is fantastic.
With Michael J. Fox.
I don't think I've seen it. It's got Michael J. Fox in. Wait, what?
You haven't seen The Frighteners.
Michael J. Fox in.
How have you not seen this movie?
I don't know.
Look,
can I go and watch it right
Amy,
now?
You need to.
Oh my God. Right, end conversation. You're going to have to go and watch it now. It is one of the best. It's 1996.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
That's reasonable. That's a reasonable timeline.
Uh-huh. Is it Peter Jackson who did it?
Peter, what? I'm like, Peter Jackson did a film starring Michael J. Fox that's a horror movie and I've not seen it. I'm just like,
It's one of the greatest horror movies ever. Yeah, Peter Jackson directed it. Fran Walsh and Peter Jackson wrote it.
Yeah.
okay, right.
It's
As soon as we get
literally
finished
blown my
talking here,
mind.
you have to go
How
and watch
have you
it.
not watched it?
I don't know. I feel like shocked and disappointed in myself. I'm gonna go
We're
immediately.
a little bit disappointed in you as well. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna go and look up what streaming service I can watch this on and like just sort it out immediately. What are you gonna do if Kev hasn't watched it? Is the question though. Like he is like Michael J. Fox super fan Back to the Future, so if he's not watched it, like I just don't know what I'm gonna do.
If Kev hasn't watched it, then no words. I'm literally stunned.
Yeah.
I'm looking now. This needs to be rectified. It is one of the greatest movies. It's my like that and 13 Ghosts are my favourite horror movies because they're just so terribly good.
Is it well I was gonna say, is it actually good or is it so bad that it like
no, it's
doubles
brilliant.
back
It's
really
brilliant.
good.
Okay, so
it's really good.
Because I like
how's it on Amazon?
I like some stuff that's bad, like really bad, and then kind of goes so far into bad that it pushes back through into good.
No,
Right,
it's not
yeah.
Deep Blue Sea / the Faculty's terrible.
No, I love the Faculty. You take that
I
back.
love them,
You take
but
that
they're not
back.
great.
I think the Faculty is like a masterpiece.
It is. Do you know?
Final Destination has taught me so much as well. Like you know when you're driving on the motorway and you see the big HGV
the log trucks
with logs or scaffolding, I will not drive behind them or even the next lane behind them because I'm like, nah, I'll die. I will die. That's taught me so much.
That film came out when I was 15, saw it at the cinema with friends, and we all walked home absolutely terrified of everything. Like electricity cables, like don't come near them. That path could have a hole in the minute and like collapse and turn to quicksand. Like we were so scared, like genuinely it filtered into our real lives for like weeks afterwards. And like you said, there are still moments where I have like a Final Destination moment of that's gonna kill me. Yeah. So bad, but but influential.
definitely. That movie changed
it's the
lives.
Same with oh god, yes. Tanning booths. I refuse to go into tanning booths because of it's one of the sequels though, isn't it?
I haven't seen all the sequels. I think I saw 1 and 2 and I was like, okay, I've finished now.
No, you gotta watch all of them. You gotta watch all of them. Especially the last one because it's perfect. It makes perfect sense. It's great.
The Frighteners is on Amazon.
Okay.
You can buy it for £3.99 HD.
Okay.
Invest. It's a sound investment.
I'm gonna do it.
Fictional Hangover will buy this for you if you
yes.
if you're on the edge. We'll just send
I'm
you
not.
a little gift card.
Me. You can say Michael J. Fox was enough, to be fair.
Oh, who's the bad guy? He's got it's the teeth. I can't remember what the actor is, but as soon as I see him, I always remember him and things. I'm like, oh, it's thingy. I'm gonna have to have a look. But yeah, it's.
Do you know what I like? Sorry, I just started looking up everyone who's in the Frighteners, and then I had to. I died.
That's all right. When you
bit
said I
because
like, my head went into the Heathers song, Candy Shop, which
Jake Bussey.
Looking hard, buying stuff they cannot. Sorry.
It's Jake Bussey's the bad guy I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's just another reason to watch it because there's a Busey in it. But a movie that I like from the 90s, even though it's not in Mina's timeline, 1999, House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Love that one. I love that one. I was so obsessed with Famke Janssen. She's just so beautiful.
The Faculty as well. She's in that.
Yeah, she is in that one too. She's just amazing.
Yeah, she is. That was like a peak moment for her, wasn't it? Like late 90s was really good.
Also the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's beautiful. So,
Have you seen the new Hellraiser? I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen stills.
No.
It looks spectacular.
Does it? Because we've been trying rewatching some like remakes recently. I tried Nightmare on Elm Street. Couldn't even we watched a few minutes of it and it had Emmett from Twilight as the lead. And I was just like, I can't buy this. So we've paused on that one.
Don't worry, he kills himself in the end of that scene. So
Oh, okay. Fine.
you can just skip. Just get right on past Emmett.
Okay,
He's gone.
Okay, I'm watching it. And then what did we watch? The Candyman remake. Have you seen that? Or
Yeah.
sequel? I'm not sure.
The latest Candyman is fantastic, and I will not have a bad word said about it.
Really?
I really enjoyed it myself.
Did you?
The shadow puppetry was
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
beautiful.
That was amazing, and I think that the cinematography was amazing. However, the story, like when you've got this like story of how it works in your head, I felt like they messed too much with my version of Candyman, and you're like, no, that's not how it would work. And I think
I think they did play with the canon of Candyman a bit.
Yeah,
but...
and I predicted it too easily as well. I think the second the guy got stung by a bee, I was like, yes, I can see how that's going to go. It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, no, it's
as soon
not.
as it's sitting on a hand, you're like, yes, I know what's going to happen to that hand.
As a person with eczema and hasn't found to deal with a lot of dry skin and open wounds, I felt very attacked during that movie.
I can imagine.
I just appreciate that he was the baby.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah. And actually, I thought the actor was really good as well. I can't remember his name. He was also in... What else was he in that I liked? Was he in Aquaman? Was he the villain?
I think he was.
Yeah.
Was it Black Mantra?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I'm terrible at remembering.
I can picture him. But yeah. So yeah, I thought the thing.
Jamie Clayton plays the new Pinhead, by the way, and she is spot on looking. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but just look at her and you think, yeah.
Okay, I'm excited by this one. I feel cautiously optimistic.
I'm going to have to see what else he's been in now, because it's going to drive me crazy. IMDb is just gone crazy for me today.
I mean, that it's an app on my home screen. That's how obsessed I am.
To be fair.
I remember discovering IMDb and it being like a game changer. Do you remember it used to have a function where you could put in two actors' names and it told you what film they'd been in together? It doesn't do that anymore. That was so useful.
And I hate that. It was so perfect.
He does. He plays Black Mantra in Aquaman.
Yeah.
He's just classed as Mantra because, they must take that out. But he was in Black Mirror as well. And Watchmen TV series. Okay. And he plays the new Morpheus in Matrix Resurrections. If you've seen the new Matrix movie.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
There you go. I'm still on the frighteners, by the way, just looking at it and going, I need to watch it now.
I could see it going through your mind. Like,
I'm watching it. Gonna have to now.
Yeah. And I will tell you when I've watched it. I'll give you my full feedback.
Yeah, I feel like you should just tweet, watch it, and just tag us, because we need to experience this with you.
I'm so bad at doing that. I've tried it before. I'm like the worst because I get so pulled into stuff and so invested. I'm like, I haven't tweeted in an hour. So yeah, I'll tell you afterwards. I will watch it, be fully immersed, and then I will tell you.
Yes, okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so excited for you to watch it. You're gonna absolutely love it. Amanda,
I hope that you haven't oversold it.
No, you can't oversell
I'm a little bit worried that you can't
oversell the frightness.
I know.
It's not possible.
But I am worried.
No. Don't be.
I mean, because she didn't experience it, originally.
Oh, God.
And that's hard.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your fans. I feel like you should dress like this all the time. Like, I keep glancing at you both, and I'm like, can this just become your go-to wardrobe in between? Like, honestly, you both really suit it. Like, being a vampire is like, it's just a natural choice. Obviously.
We are trying to do special, because it's October and it's all vampires all the time.
Right,
October
yes.
For Fictional Hangover. I mean, to be fair, it's all vampires all the time. Fictional Hangover.
Yeah, it's like 80% vampires all the time.
But we are trying, just because Amanda doesn't get the opportunity now to do a lot of the cosplay, so we get to cosplay together doing it this way.
And, that's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with just dressing up every single week, which is what I used to do. It's just not quite as intense. I'm not going out and making videos of me hiding behind bushes and popping out.
I love that so much. I kind of would have liked to see the reactions of the people as well, like to Gary Oldman just being there in the bush, like, see me.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I got some stares.
Well, they would have only seen Amanda doing it when she says, see me, and wills it into being. Before that, nobody's there.
No one knows. No one knows what I'm doing, hiding behind the tree.
See, I've
Or
never
that
done like, the full makeup stuff. I've never been good at it, but since having a toddler, because as you two know, I have to go and deal with him. Like, can you imagine if I tried like some kind of Freddy Krueger thing and then be like,
oh
"Oh, hello, child. I'm just gonna help you go to best, go to sleep, looking like this."
I have to take the teeth out to go downstairs. He doesn't like them. But the thing he hates the most are the elf ears I've got.
he
Okay.
hated those elf ears. Hated them.
He hates them with a fire passion. I think we were just having a pre-chat, and he came in, he saw them on, and Manda was there, and he was like, "Mammy, take them off." I was like, "Go away, child, I need them on."
Oh, I showed my
Absolutely
son.
hates them.
We're going to Disneyland Paris, and I showed him my Mickey Mouse ears, and he did not like them. Like he was just like, "No, mummy." And I was
No.
like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to wear my Sally ears or my Haunted Mansion ears that I've bought especially." We'll see.
What are you gonna do?
If it's gonna ruin the
Have a
whole
Haunted Mansion ears.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion ears. Oh, I don't even know where they are right now because
Mine
I
are
had to
the
hide them.
wallpaper ones.
Yeah, that's the ones I have. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna show
Yeah.
you two. I know that not everybody will be able to see this. I'm gonna show you two. Sally ears
Oh, look at them.
and the Haunted Mansion. Are they the ones you have? The Haunted Mansion.
No, I've got the ones from the stretching room.
Oh,
They're
okay.
in the other room. But I do have my
Oh, cute.
pumpkin and
I love how we just had our Mickey ears to hand. Wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
don't
can
have
incorporate
any
anything.
of those.
the only one
Oh, you need
the
some
ones I've
spooky
got are from the
ones.
stretching room. You do? No, well, yeah. I think you should. I think you could do.
Although
some
apparently they
Haunted
scare
Mansion
children, so no, I might not be wearing mine. Send you mine, then I'll banned.
ones. We took our son to Disneyland Paris, and Mickey Mouse was waiting in the we stayed in Sequoia Lodge, and Mickey Mouse was there waiting, and me and my husband so excited, like, "Oh, it's Mickey! Look, son, it's Mickey!" We prepared him. He was so excited, and he ran away. So we quickly got our picture taken with Mickey, and then had to chase after him.
See, mine likes characters. We've established this like gently with the various like he's met Elmer the elephant, and various like kind of versions of Mickey Mouse. Where you go to a theme park and it's not Mickey Mouse, but it's like a generic mouse.
Really
Just a
distinct
generic
Yes.
knockoff
Mickey
one.
Mouse.
Yeah, so he's met various characters like that and really liked them, and a huge penguin, which was number one favorite thing because he's a big penguin fan. So yeah, I think we're going to be okay with the characters not terrifying him. Hopefully.
No, he was fine afterwards. Once we realised he was fine. I've got a fantastic picture of him in a Spider-Man hoodie with Donald Duck going.
Oh,
So yeah, that's wonderful. But yeah, or do the sensible thing, like Amanda does, go without children.
Yes, just don't have
'Cause-
children and then you're fine.
My child has been once. I've been over 10 times.
yeah. I mean, at one point we went like almost every year to Florida. It's like, let's go once. That will satisfy us. Like 5 years later, we're like, maybe we should stop
No,
this
we need to go there.
very expensive hobby.
Yes.
We're going
Shall we
in.
actually
We're going
ask
in
some
March.
Nina
Yeah, I was
questions?
going to say we've gone slightly.
Yeah, we
take a
probably
slight
should.
detour to Disney.
We
but
did. We
That's
did.
fine.
That's fine. So what do we need to ask? I mean, I feel like this is just a really good conversation that everyone is going to be interested in.
There is.
Regardless.
I'd like to know the promotion to Mina and the Undead has been very different to Mina and the Slaves,
Yes.
but with, I mean, let's not deny the pandemic is still there, but we have to come to terms with quote unquote living with COVID. So how's it been different, and what's been some of the highlights or things that have happened that you weren't expecting that are completely great?
Okay, so book one, to give people some context, bookshops were shut when my first book came out, so nobody could go into a shop and buy it. They could only order it online. But the good thing about that was that I met sort of people like you who, because of like that online community thing, I think people were really behind me and behind all like the debut authors of that year. It's like you poor little debuts who haven't been able to have the proper experience. So I felt like the online support was really amazing, and it kind of carried me through. And I got to do things like a launch with Dawn Kurtagich, which little me who went to meet Dawn and queued to get her autograph, at Yark years before, I got to do my launch with her virtually. So that was brilliant. But going to bookshops and meeting real people, especially real teenagers who read my book and are really excited, like I wish I had it to hand, but I went to a bookshop and somebody, I think in her 20s, this lovely girl on Instagram called Roxy, I think she's called Tattoos, Clues and Book Reviews or something. She's really cool. She'd sewn me a little Arg, like the end of Buffy, little monster, like a cross-stitched one. And I think that's got to be one of the standout moments, like that she just brought it and she'd wrapped it. And just talking to people, like having that moment where I've been on the other side of that table and excitedly gone up to somebody really nervous and told them the thing I wanted to tell them. And I got to be on the other side of that and hear the thing that people wanted to tell me. It was there's nothing like that. And actually, I've done like obviously lots of virtual events and then being in the room with people and feeling that actual back and forth and that rapport with people. And like going to Yalk is another high point, like walking onto that stage that I've been in the audience of, like I've been to every single Yalk young adult literary
so
convention for the uninitiated, and just sitting there and thinking, wow, I'm actually going to talk on this stage when I've listened so many times from the other side of it. It's been amazing. And like I said, I didn't expect to kind of hit any kind of mainstream audience with this book. I thought I'd just written a little fun niche thing. And somehow it's like kind of gone beyond that and found other people. And I think some people don't get the full nitty-gritty and like minutiae that you would probably go, that's a song from Buffy. Like even if people don't get that, it seems that they can enjoy it anyway. So yeah, it's been really cool. I would highly recommend not releasing a book during a global pandemic. Or even having one again. It'd be nice if we could just not do that ever again, please. I
That
also
would be great.
had a baby the month before we went into lockdown. I wouldn't recommend that particularly either. Although there were nice things that we got to have our little family bubble and stuff. And obviously it was a really close little family unit, but he didn't get to meet anybody else for quite some time. So yeah, there were many, multiple downsides for on kind of a personal and big level. But then yeah, with my book, it's been I think maybe I appreciate it even more because I had such a kind of narrow internet-based experience the first time.
Is it weird thinking you're sitting there with the two books in front of you at these book signings now instead of just the one book where you're like, hang on, I didn't do this the first time round. Why am I allowed to do it now?
Yeah.
Should I not have like a little bit of a do-over?
It's a little bit weird how, yeah, the first one, it's almost like, yeah, that went out into the world. And then the second one is what's like a few people contact me and said, I bought this book. It's not the first one. I'm going to have to go buy the first one now. So they've like seen the push for the second book and then gone, oh yeah, it's a sequel. Let's buy the other one. So yeah, it still feels weird that I've written books, to be honest. Like I still have to kind of look at them behind you and go, I wrote those. Like they are the things in my head that became actual objects. That's
so cool.
It hasn't 100% sunk in, which sounds bizarre, but it's completely true.
That's so cool.
It's amazing.
The only thing that's missing though are audiobooks.
I know, honestly, like we're on submission with audiobooks.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I feel like if it doesn't happen, like you and I just need to sit down and thresh out like how we can do this. You just need to practice your Whitby accent, your North Yorkshire accent. And
I will commit. I will do it. I will, 100%.
yeah, it would be cool. I think my only reservation was if somebody were to buy it and be like, okay, we're going to do this all in one accent. So all your people from New Orleans and your character from Hawaii and those from North Yorkshire, we're just going to do it in a London accent. That's okay, isn't it? I think I'd rather it not exist.
No.
If it wasn't going to be done well, I would rather not have one. So that was my only ever reservation with the audiobook thing. It's like, depending on who bought it, it could be really scary.
It's a very diverse cast of characters and of all, different locations, accents, colours and creeds.
Yes.
It needs to be done properly because otherwise...
Yeah, you don't want to cross it into any territory where people have imagined a character, related to a character and can empathise with them. And they, especially people who embody certain characteristics, then yeah, if it was done badly, it could just be really awful. So yeah.
When I read this one, I read it accented in my head, going, just let me do it. Just let me do it, Amy. That's
honestly,
how I read it.
If it was up to me, like if I had any control over the powers of be with publishing, like it would already be done. But
yeah. A friend of mine in the library the other day was asking me, she was like, Amanda, I need you to put this book on hold for me. And I can't even remember which book it was. It doesn't matter. But she's like, but I can't do the audio because it's like the second or third in the series. And she said, I can't listen to the audio because the voices will be different than the ones in my head. And I was like, no, I understand what you mean. I get it. I 100% get it. But then I'm like, but then you just got to listen to the audio anyway because audiobooks are the best. But
they are. I mean,
it's interesting to think that that's how people think. They're like, no, I can't listen to this because I already have all of these things in my head already, and you can't change that.
I get that.
I was surprised by the amount of people who told me that when I did the audiobook survey. a couple of years ago. Like the amount of people that wrote in the comments, the reason why they don't listen to audiobooks is because the voices in their head do not match the voice that they're listening to, and it's off-putting.
Yeah,
I was very
I
surprised.
don't have that issue, and I also don't have that issue with films. Like, say, The Beach is one of my favorite books, and a film that I really like, and they're completely different, and I can appreciate them both, and I'm okay with it, even though they just took the book that I loved and made it something totally different. So
Yeah.
the same with audiobooks. I read Strange the Dream and thought, I love this, I'm going to get the audiobook too, and then listen to it almost straight away afterwards. And I don't have an issue with that. In fact, I don't know. Like when I think of a really well done audiobook, it can make me buy a book that I wouldn't buy as well. Like I'd kind of done with the Hunters books for a while. Heard that James Masters had read the audiobook for some of them, so I went and bought those audiobooks like straight away. And that was I listened to all the Dresden Files books as well because he read them. So I think the power of the audiobook can bring readers as well that wouldn't necessarily have picked up that book, and then I ended up loving them.
Have you listened to the Greyfriars trilogy?
I don't even know.
James Masters is the audiobook narrator.
That's all you need to tell me. Like literally,
it is. I remember when, because I physically read I'm such a hipster. I read the Dresden Files before they got started turning into audiobooks, and I freaking love these books. And I get wrong off Amanda for recommending them so often. But I remember listening to the sample, at my old work in their in-office gym on the cross trainer, and stopping and going, oh, and getting chills because I could hear Harry in my ears, and it was James Masters. I'm like, hang on, he does terrible British accent, but this is gorgeous.
It's like even like the little fairies that he does their voices, like it's just incredible.
So good.
Like the female characters, people with different accents, like he's great. Yeah. I'm with you. I could totally get behind recommending the Dresden Files all the time, but only if you listen to the audiobooks.
The Greyfriars is set, it goes into Edinburgh, and it's a vampire book as well.
Awesome. You told me like lots of things that
That's all you need. That's all you need to know.
Amazing. It's amazing. I get wrong for recommending that one too often too. My only problem with audiobooks is when the accent is bad.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to that's not Scottish, or it's like, say, like with Mina, it's gonna have to be predominantly in a British accent.
Yeah.
And it needs to be spot on, otherwise I'm out of the story and I would stop this. You stop listening. It's the same with American. When you get a British person doing an American accent and it turns into General American.
Yeah.
Oh, General American.
Saint Germain.
Yeah. General
How
American.
do you say that? How do you? We've been laughing our heads off on how to say Saint Germain, Saint Germain, Saint Germain.
See, I would say, in French, I would say it's probably Saint Germain, but I say Saint Germain, which is what they say in New Orleans. New Orleans. Again, that's the other thing. Do you say New Orleans or New Orleans?
See, as a Brit, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, and if I talk to enough American people, I find myself saying New Orleans, and then I'm like, oh, I know that American people don't like it when British people say it wrong. I try and say New Orleans.
Or you have to lean all the way into it and just say Nolans.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Nolans.
I can't pull that off. No. It's a whole, like, vowel that I can't make with my mouth. I had people say it when I was there. It's amazing. New Orleans. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, that's bad, isn't it? I feel like
that was so fantastic.
I'd never do accents in front of you. I feel like there are some accents I like doing, but I know you're so good at them, I'm just not even going to attempt it.
Oh, we were talking accents at the book club meeting and pre-book club meeting, and everybody was freely admitting how terrible we are at accents.
You're good, Amanda. I haven't heard yours, Claire, that much to know, but I think you're good.
Thank you. I'm finishing up an audiobook right now that has several, and I'm pretty sure I've butchered at least a couple of them, so sorry about that, but the author is fine with it, and she squeed and said that one of the characters was really cute, so that's good enough for me, but
take it and run with it.
Just take it and go.
I'm really sad that I haven't actually made any of the physical book clubs because it's at 11 o'clock, isn't it? I'm like, no, I'm in bed by then. I need to get all the sleep. Like, that's the period of time where my toddler does reliably sleep, so I have to be in bed by then and get my few hours.
We are doing, after our live episode, we're doing an episode the Sunday before Halloween, the 30th. We're doing a live, but we're going to have like a follow-up book club. So you can come to that one because that'll be about this same time.
Oh, I can manage that. That's good. Yeah.
And it's just about one of the short stories.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Dracula Night.
Cool. I haven't actually read many of the short stories. I read one, which was in something like, I'm looking at my shelf now, Many Bloody Returns. I think it was like a short story anthology, and it had like a Suki and Eric one in it. I don't remember much about it apart from Eric was in it.
This is an Eric heavy one. It's Halloween at Fantasia.
And do you know what? That might even be the one.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay. But
so,
yeah,
see,
I'm going to
you're
read.
ready. You're prepared.
I mean, I bought when I found out you were doing that book club. I bought the whole set of them, including the short story anthology. So I'm ready to go for all of them.
Yes, Dracula Night we're doing on the 30th of October.
Yeah, I'm so.
Live.
Okay,
wait.
I'll make sure I read that before then.
Good. Can't wait. Can't wait for that one. So we're excited about that. What is coming up for you that you're excited about? And then we can wrap this up. And you can go on with the rest of your day.
Thank you. I've mentioned that I'm already going. Start again. I've already mentioned that I'm going to Disneyland Paris in a couple of weeks, so that will be really fun. Halloween at Disneyland, I think, is just like peak Disney and peak Halloween, in my opinion.
You going in costume? Have you got a costume?
Well, I've got a toddler who's not that into costumes and seems to not like it when I wear them either, so possibly not. I've got many spooky t-shirts which he seems to tolerate, so I'm going to go with that. He has no idea.
You need to do a sneaky cosplay where it just looks like the outfit is just a normal outfit.
Oh yeah, like this. I mean, I don't know whether you can
right
see
now.
my jumper. Like, I could probably wear that quite happily and just wear the hat. And then he's like, "What are those clothes, Mummy?" Nothing.
You could just have one glove, just one glove on one hand. You don't have to put the knives on, but you could just be wearing one glove on one hand.
Yeah,
and paint silver.
Silver
nails.
Silver fingernails, and
Grow my
everyone would
nails
know.
For the next 2 weeks, I'll see what I can do. So that I'm excited about. I also, I don't know if I've mentioned to you two yet, that there's a HorrorTube anthology coming out in a couple of weeks, and I have a werewolf story in it, not vampires. I keep saying vampire. Werewolf, so my take on werewolves, and it's an adult one, so it's just full on gore. I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
She said, She said, I think the prompt was something like a gory R.L. Stein type story. I was like, okay, I will give you what you've asked for. It will have werewolves in it.
Sold.
So that is really fun. And it's called Bad Moon Rising, which is also a sort of supernatural reference as well as...
Yes. Awesome.
Love it.
Every time I see
good.
the title of it, I have to sing a bit of Bad Moon Rising in my head. So that's the only problem with that idea. So they're probably the two most exciting things that I can think of. I'm doing a few more book events too, which is nice. I've got a Waterstones one in Bolton, which is in November. I'm doing Waterstones Ashford in Kent. They're doing like a Halloween extravaganza over half-term week, which is cool. And they've asked me to come and be the kind of vampire rep, I guess, for that. You can just come and talk vampires with me. Lots of fun things and things in real life, which I'm very appreciative of still.
That's very exciting. So cool.
So where can everybody find you? Because you do have your YouTube blog as well.
Yeah.
So where can everybody find you?
I'm kind of all over the place now. So I have Amy McCaw is my YouTube channel. I'm still using my blogger handle on Instagram and Twitter. So I'm YA Under My Skin on those. And then I'm Amy McCaw Author on TikTok, which I'm still navigating and trying to understand. I think I get it, and then something happens. I'm like, I don't understand TikTok at all. So I'm trying. It's like
that's how we feel too.
For me. Yeah. Have you ventured yet, or?
Yeah, we've got one. We don't do much with it. We post our would you rather questions there, which I tried to find you, but then there was just a million different Amy McCaws, and so I thought, well, she's just not there.
I am now. I'm Amy McCaw Author, and I didn't know you were on there either. So I'll look you up, and then we can try and figure it out together.
Yeah,
I do not understand TikTok.
Yeah,
I think to succeed, it seems you have to post a lot and be really consistent. And the way my life is, I just can't do either of those things. So I'm just doing my best.
Yeah.
But
I think it's too demanding. It's far too demanding.
It really is.
And you need to write the books as well, and have a life and
be a parent and have a day job. So
yeah. And everything that I see on TikTok, which I don't go on very often, only when I go on to post our Would You Rathers and then our episode clips that we do. And I used to do my cosplay videos, but now I'm not cosplaying all that much anymore. So anyway, but every time I open it up and it's just like people being purposefully stupid, it makes me want to die.
or just lip syncing to clips, TV clips and movie clips.
Yeah.
Just them lip syncing. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not for me, I don't think.
No, I'm starting to find the things that I feel comfortable doing, like the lip syncing. I tried doing once, and it was from Scream, and I actually quite enjoyed it because I was like pretend shouting at the camera. But I think,
Okay, well, no, that's fine. If it's Scream it's you, that's fine.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But if that is literally the only content you create,
yeah, it wasn't my go-to thing to do. Yeah, I'm still figuring it out, and I see some people doing really good stuff on there, especially like the Halloween type content. I think, yeah, I want to do that, but I just haven't got the headspace at the minute. I will at some point. I'll get there, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow you.
Thank you, and I'll follow you back.
Yes, okay. Now that we know that you exist there,
it's
we'll
a
follow you.
date.
Yeah.
And
I've got my homework, watching The Frighteners. I don't think I set you to any homework, but I will feed back.
You 100% have to let us know. If you're not live tweeting your watch of The Frighteners, you have to let us know how you feel about it.
Okay, deal. I will let you know.
I will understand if you turn around and go, Claire, it was chod. I demand that $3.99. Send it to me now. I will PayPal it over to you.
Yeah, I mean, Fictional Hangover really will pay you to watch this.
I really feel like, we're at the stage in our relationship now where we can be honest with each other. So I will be honest.
Right. Okay, good.
I owe you both that much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
and
thank you so much.
Thank you very much as well for including us in Team Mina again. It's an absolute blast.
And including us in the acknowledgements of the book.
Oh my god, yes. I do have more content now that Scully Joe actually has proper outfit. You can join in now. I've been waiting.
Thank you.
But no, we do really appreciate, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I just love it that people want to do it. It sometimes feels a bit like, I'm here to tell you to talk about me again. But it just feels like we've got our own little community, and we all obviously like the same things, and one of them is the books I've written, which is really nice.
Oh, it's excellent.
Because they're great.
It's nice to see the other people as well, Amanda, isn't it? Like what their content that they're creating separately and how they're involved in book blogging and reviewing and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
And then they'll follow us from what we're doing, which is also amazing. So it's a wonderful little internet community.
Yeah, I would highly recommend to any authors. It's funny, isn't it? Like a little niche that you didn't... I think because I was a blogger before, I just decided that I would kind of take that model of let's get a little group of what started as bloggers together, and we've kind of evolved into some YouTubers and some podcasters, and just become its own little thing.
Thanks always for including us, though, because we appreciate it.
Well, thank you for including me. I feel very happy to be part of this little family and this little group of authors that includes very cool people, including yourselves. So,
thank you.
Nice to be part of this.
So when Mina and the blank 3 is released, you're coming back. Because you
have to.
Of course.
There's no question. There's no question about that.
Oh, and when you start recording, you have to tell me whatever the thing you were going to tell me is as well that I've forgotten. But
yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, then let's definitely press stop.
Yes, all right. That's the end. So that's it for this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we continue to discuss all vampires all the time, our monthly theme, with Go Hunt Me by Kelly DeVos. Look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
With vampires,
With vampires. All vampires all the time.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at fictionalhangover, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover, and on Twitter at fictionalhangover, no ER. If you'd like this episode, check out our others and rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for our music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.